Brought to you by SCDHEC. Visit scdhec.gov for testing and vaccination sites. SCDHEC, healthy people, healthy communities. In it together, SC and the South Carolina Diabetes Advisory Council presenting Wellness Wednesday every week on Coping with COVID. The City of Columbia Office of Business Opportunities, helping to meet the needs of small, minority, and women-owned businesses in the City of Columbia. Agape Counseling and Training Services. If you're having a challenge coping with COVID, visit Agape Counseling and Training Services at agapects.com. The Comet Bus System, offering free rides to get your COVID vaccine. Don't miss your shot. Visit catchthecomet.gov. Javis Financial Services, with over 20 years of experience. Computers Unique, Dutch Square Mall. Honest, professional, reliable computer sales and service. Palmetto Media Connections, connecting media and communities together. Coping with COVID from SCDHEC. In it together, SC. The South Carolina Diabetes Advisory Council. The City of Columbia Office of Business Opportunities. Agape Counseling and Training Services, the Comet Bus System, Javis Financial Services, Computers Unique, and Palmetto Media Connections.
Coping with COVID with Tre Tailor.
Hey there, I'm Tre Tailor. Thank you so much for joining us again on Coping with Tre Tailor. We are streaming live on the Tailor Made production page over on Facebook. Please go over there, hit like and share and follow. So not only you can watch and get notifications as to when to watch Coping Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, but you'll also get all of your COVID-related updates and all kind of other great information on that Tailor Made production page over in Facebook. We're also streaming live on YouTube. Hello to all of you YouTubers. Thank you so much for joining us. And please hit the subscribe button. That is super important. Actually, when you go over to the YouTube channel, you can also view past episodes of not only Coping with COVID, which airs on Wednesday, but Coping with Tre Tailor. We also have a presence on Instagram and also on Facebook. Coming up this weekend, an amazing event from an organization that does so much to help women and men and teens with healthy relationships. Vanessa Guyton. Is it Guyton or is it Guyton?
It's Guyton, but you can say as long as you call me good. People call me Dr. Vanessa. They call
I
me
know that's right, girl. That's right.
Good. I love.
Dr. Guyton joins us today from our organization, Hush No More. And Vanessa, you guys are putting on an amazing event this weekend, specifically for teens and their relationship. Before we talk about that, tell me about Hush No More first, for those people who are not familiar.
So Hush No More provide resources, a place for people to listen, just a safe space for you to get what you need to get to the next level to heal. So we focus on what I call the hush topics: sexual assault, domestic violence, human trafficking, child sexual abuse, incest, all of those topics that families, communities, organizations have a hard time discussing. We talk about it. We do the training in the community and we just show love. It's about love and kindness and having that safe space for people to listen to you. So that is what Hush No More is all about.
Okay, great. Now, are your services and programs available for anyone in the community?
They are absolutely free for anyone in the community. We provide free counseling. We provide art therapy, all type of resources. Our biggest thing is connecting individuals with the right resources in the community. So that's one of our favorite things to do, and to just be a listening ear.
Yeah. So this weekend, you're focusing on the kids, 13 through 16, 17-year-olds?
All the way up to 19. So the 19-year-olds can come in and give us a different perspective. We are excited because teen dating violence is a real problem that parents do not realize is happening. Sometimes we don't tell our parents. I know I didn't tell my mom hardly nothing, right? We don't talk about it. And so statistically, 1 in 3 teens are a victim of teen dating violence. That can be emotional, it could be physical, it could be sexual, and we don't really understand what's going on with our kids, and we don't have that safe space. So that is our goal, is to create that safe space where kids can come in, talk about it, let's have a discussion, learn from each other, and see what we can do to help them.
Well, I want to jump in here for a minute because I want to talk a little bit about the non-physical. I mean, the physical violence we can see, we can see if you've got a bruise or scar or something like that. But that non-physical, that emotional domestic violence, I think is a little deeper because you don't see it, and you're not aware maybe that your child's behavior may be different, or that he or she may be going through it. So tell me, let's talk a little bit more about that, how that perhaps happens, and what are some of the warning signs?
A lot of times it's the power and control, right? It's the boyfriend or the girlfriend wanting control of your teen. So they'll do things like call them on FaceTime. They do call on video a lot just because that's their natural thing that they do. But when it's, I'm calling because I want to see if you're really home. I want to call you on video to check that you're at school or when you say where you are or who you're with. Taking the cell phones, passwords, email passwords, those things, a lot of times parents don't understand that that's happening. The emotional, where they're telling them they're not beautiful, they're fat, they're ugly, nobody will want you but me. Saying those type of things affects them mentally, right? And then when you see your children grades are going down, when their behavior is changing, they're agitated, they don't want to talk to you, they're always hiding, those are some of the signs that you can look forward to. And yeah, it's difficult because teens could be moody anyway, so we know that, right? But when they're just shutting down on you completely, or they're very secretive, or they're hiding out from you, and you normally would sit at the dinner table and have that conversation. If they're not doing it, it's something to pay attention to.
Vanessa Guyton joins us to talk about an event that she is presenting. Her organization, Hush No More, is presenting, and it is an event to really focus on teens, 13 through 19-year-olds, with love and dating. You know what? You mentioned some things of how kids act, young people, teenagers act when they are going through the emotional violence, and what parents should look out for. And you mentioned, that it's hard because, kids are moody. Would you suggest, Dr. Guyton, that parents get to know the kids in their circle, the kids that they're dating? Does that help at all?
I think so. I don't understand when parents don't know.
Right.
So that's a problem for me. You should know who your child is dating.
Exactly.
Even if they tell you, because a lot of times our children are dating and you think they're not dating, but they are. And they're actually having sex at a very young age now. Like, we know that children could be sexually active at 10, 9. They're having sex a lot earlier. So you have to have the conversations, right? And you should know their circle. You should know their friends. You should have a relationship with their friends, that if something is going on, that their friends feel safe enough to come and tell you. Right?
Yeah.
And I always say that you should also have someone in your circle that you trust, that your children can go and talk to. So if it's an aunt, a godparent, a grandparent, they should have someone else besides you to talk to, because we don't always want to tell our parents everything.
Yeah.
Even though parents say, oh, we have a great relationship. I do have a good relationship with you, but it doesn't mean that I want to tell you something so personal.
Yeah. Yeah, that's just such a slippery slope, girl. And I know, I'm speaking for parents of girls and boys who are experiencing this, especially as they become teens. And it's that kind of a weird area, you're trying to figure out who you are, and again, trying to find out your own identity. And like you said, not feeling comfortable sometimes to talk to your parents. So that's why it's so important, as you said, one, as a parent, you don't freak out every time they say something, so they know, to feel comfortable around you, and or to have that person that is in your circle that the kids can talk to. So I tell you, that's yeah. You got to know who the circles that your children are traveling in, and if they're leaving out the house, we got to know who that is.
We do. Yeah.
You
have to have more control over your kids. There's no such thing as privacy.
Right.
My daughter was little. When she was a teen, she was acting up, I took the door off. Like, there's no privacy, right? Do not feel like you can't go into your children's cell phone and do a random check. And I'll tell you that it's very important to do the random checks, to know where they are, to have something on their device, because like we talk about human trafficking, that is real. We want to be able to find your children. So you should be able to use some type of program to be able to know where your children are, not from a stalking type sense, but from a safety perspective.
Safety.
You have to have more control of your kids. And one of the things that a lot of teens complain about, which was surprising to me, is that their parents never listen. They love to say, my parents never listen to me. But a lot of times parents are working, right? We're working, we're trying to go to school. We have this busy life, more than one child. Take time out individually for each one of your children to have that safe space to listen to them, because that is one of the major complaints I hear is my parents don't listen. They don't care. When I know that they do care.
And just to listen. Oh man, you're giving so many great nuggets, Vanessa, because Listen, girl, I'm just having so many moments myself, as I'm raising, some people know I'm reparenting, I'm raising a 3 and a 6-year-old, and already with them, because they come from a special background. I am making sure that not only do I do stuff with them together, but then I give the 6-year-old his own time and the 3-year-old her own time. And I'm checking myself not to fly off the handle every time. And especially now with the 6-year-olds trying to find, getting a little mannish and everything. And I know we're talking about older kids, but it starts with the younger kids.
Young.
It starts with the younger kids, and I mean, just this morning, he just woke up and he had a meltdown. I didn't know why. I kind of had an idea why. Something happened over the weekend. But, I just thank God, because instead of saying, okay, come on, I just said, are you okay? What's going on? What's happening? Can you talk to me? Can I give you a hug? Things like that. If we come to it gently and not from a frustrated place, because you are frustrated as a parent sometimes. And girl, it was in the morning. We need to go. So, but, I said a little prayer, had to check myself. I love you. I'm here for you. You can talk to me. Come on, let's go downstairs and eat some breakfast. Just coming to it with a gentler touch, not out of our frustration, but truly out of love. Girl, the scripture says love is patient, love is kind. We have got to, and life gets in the way, but we've got to focus on those of people who are believers, focus on what the word says love is,
Yeah. And it's difficult. Like, my children are grown now. So it's easier for me to tell you all of this now because I've been through that journey, and I'm working with grandkids. I have more patience. This second part of your life, you have a little bit more patience, right?
And knowledge and maturity.
Right.
Oh, you should.
And I used to say, nobody just gives you a book and tell you how to be a parent. It is very difficult. And so that's why you can lean on your community to assist you. There are a lot of great programs out here to help you as a parent, because we can't do it on our own. It takes a tribe, right? And so that's always my goal, is how can I help parents to share that love and kindness?
Vanessa Guyton is the president and CEO of Hush No More. They are an amazing organization that is formed solely for the purpose of, as she said, to help you understand, to support you through those hush topics, sexual violence, domestic violence, sexual assault, trafficking, and things like that. They've got an amazing event coming up this weekend, the One Love event for teenagers. Before we go to that, I want to ask you one more thing about the boundaries we should have with our children. Vanessa, do we, tell our kids, okay, I've got these tracking devices or whatever on your phone? And how do we explain to them, I guess, I want to know what you're doing, who you're doing it with, all of that, but give them the privacy at the same time. Give them the privacy that they are longing for and want.
So it depends. And I'm going to just be honest. You know your children.
Yeah.
If you suspect that your child is doing things that you don't know, or they're sneaking and their behavior has changed, sometimes you got to get a little step ahead, right? I'm just going to tell you this. And my teens will be like, why would you tell our parents that? Sometimes you can't tell your kids everything. Your children should not know everything about you, right? Yeah. They just, you're going to have to be a little creative. You're going to have to pay attention. I believe that boundaries are their nudity. You don't want to intrude on their privacy as it relates to their body and their nudity. I think that's an invasion of privacy. I've heard people say they come and they look at their children's body and check them for bruises. And I just think that that's a violation of personal space. So you don't want to violate their personal space, right? But you do want to lend trust. And it's a conversation that you want to have with your children. And you let them know it's not because I want to know everything about you. I want to make sure that you're safe. Yeah. I want to make sure that we have this on our cell phone so that we could be safe. And I will tell you, there are some apps now that are like 360, where it's the whole family. You know what a whole entire family is.
Oh, cool.
Those apps are not good because the children know where you are.
Oh.
They know when you're coming home. Like, these kids are smart, right?
Wow. Yeah, that makes it good. Yeah.
Yeah, they was like, yeah, we like that app because we know where our parents are. We know when they're on their way home. So that doesn't help you. You have to pop up on your kids sometime. If they're spending the night with somebody else, which I don't always agree with, but if they're at a game, you got to pop up. You have to make sure that they know that you're paying attention to their behavior and that they can't just know that you're going to always do the same thing. You should be unpredictable as a parent, but you have to have that conversation. I'm going to install this on your phone so that it's a safety measure. If you get missing or anything, that's what I'm going to do. But I will tell you, a lot of times the children now are separating themselves from the cell phone, and they have more than one cell phone.
Oh my God. How are they getting another cell phone? Well, I get,
well, because people have old cell phones, right? And so they have more than one. So you could punish them and take their phone away, and then they have another cell phone. They do. It's very common for them to have more than one. So, or you bought them a new phone and upgraded it, and now they have their own old phone as well. They're very smart. And all they have to do is get on Wi-Fi. So they still communicate with the phone, right? So they will tell you, I got another phone. I'm not worried about this one. But they will separate themselves from their phone. So you want to do pop-ups. You want to have a conversation. You want to build trust. You want to say things like, I love you. I trust you. But make sure that you're just telling me where you are so that I can trust you. Don't break the trust that we have.
Yeah.
You don't have to do things to get ahead of you because kids think they're smarter than us. I thought I was smarter than my mom. They do. So conversations work. But if you know you have a child that is sneaking out, that's doing things that they don't have a business doing, you know that they're sexually active, they're running to the boyfriend or the girlfriend against your advice, then you have to do things without telling them at times.
Right. The One Love event, a party to explore healthy relationships, is coming up this Saturday. Tell us about it, Vanessa.
Well, it's actually Sunday. So we decided to do it on a Sunday because we didn't want to have to compete with everything going on a Saturday. Right. And it's after church. So you can still go to church, but it's like the fun thing you could tell your kids that they're going to after church. So One Love is all about, if you love yourself, you won't allow somebody else to abuse you, hurt you, disrespect you. And nor will you abuse somebody else.
Right.
So I talk to girls and boys about teen dating violence from the perspective of you don't let nobody do it to you and you don't do it to others. So that's what One Love is about. And we're going to talk about relationships and have great conversations. And then we're going to eat. We're going to party with DJ Sub-Zero. We're excited about that. So it's going to be fun. We're going to have door prizes and just showing some love. But I believe that if your children love themselves and you're pouring that into them, and making sure they have really good self-esteem, it's harder for them to be abused. Now, it can happen regardless. But when you have that self-love and you think that you got it going on, we don't tolerate no abuse, right? Because we're not in that space. And so that's our goal, is to talk about how we're going to love on each other and have respect.
And build some self-confidence, because you're right. If you, I mean, insecurity breeds so many of these behaviors and allowing people to do things to you. It's the insecurity. And there's so many things, I'm telling you, for kids that to be insecure about nowadays. I mean, you know, they're looking at social media, magazines, all of this, trying to be and look and feel the way they see people do in 5 seconds, you know, and not knowing what the backstory is. So, you know, building up their self-confidence is important. So this Sunday, ages 13 through 19, parents are not invited.
Parents are not. And for the parents who say, well, what I'm supposed to do? Go and have you some free time, right? Because when parents show up, our children don't ask the question that they need to ask, right? This is not about for us to find out what's going on in your household. That's not what this is about. This is about giving them a safe, open space so they can ask questions and we can answer them for them. So that's why parents are not allowed.
All right. And what time is it? I don't see the time on
it. It is from 2 to 5.
2 to 5.
2 to 5.
At Killian Park.
Killian Park. And we're just going to have a good day. And nobody taught me what was love. They always say, you got to love yourself. But what does that really mean?
You're right.
You know, we don't know. Love is when you are going to say yes to yourself. When you stand true to your no and your own personal beliefs, that's when you love yourself. And so that's our goal.
All right. Awesome. People need to go ahead and register so you can
go to hushnomore.org and you can register. All of our upcoming events is there, but it says One Love. Click on One Love. You'll see the party invite. We're asking the teens to bring out their friends and just get ready to have some fun. We're going to have a dance contest. And that's what it's about. It's about showing them how to love themselves and to love somebody else. And learn at the same time.
Vanessa, 2 more things before you go. I want to ask, what happens if something comes out at this event? If a child, girl, boy says they are being abused or they are afraid or something, if something comes out at the event, what are your next steps to help them and help the parents?
So one thing is we do have counseling. So we'll have counselors there if that happens. And sometimes that does. I can't guarantee that won't.
Yeah, yeah,
Sometimes
if
that
they feel
does.
safe to
It's a
talk
good, it's a
about it.
good thing though. It's a good, so I don't want parents to be worried about that. And then we'll have a conversation with them like, how can we approach this with your parents?
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
something that your parents need to know. So this is not for us to keep it away from parents. That's not what this is about. It's for us to help you and guide you. And then we offer resources for them. So it depends on what they tell us. But we have counseling. We have all the resources that they need. And we don't just leave you alone. We also have a mentoring program as well. So this is just an opportunity to connect, but also to let them know that we're here if something happens in the future. Or if something happens with their friends, they need to be bystander. Bystander intervention is real. We need them out there to say, hey, don't let your boyfriend do that to you. Don't let your girlfriend do that to you. This organization can help you. This is who you can call and talk to. So we want to build that relationship now, just in case something happens in the future.
Yeah. And you said you've got some upcoming events. I want to talk about those right quick. Just tell us what you've got coming up before you leave.
We do. So we got a concealed weapon permit class. If you want to learn how to use a weapon safely and defend yourself, that is on 2 April. We also have a 5K, Hush No More Against Sexual Abuse. No matter what the abuse is, you can come with us on 9 April. That's also a virtual 5K as well. We have a documentary screening to share the stories of survivors on 10 April. And then we have a really big event at Benedict College Stadium on 30 April called Stump Out Crime. It is going to be a step show, performers, and just a good day of resources for the community. If you want to know what's going on to help your family before an incident, or if something has already happened, we'll have the City of Columbia Police Department there, Richland County Sheriff Department there, and a lot of community resources with my partners. And we're excited about that.
Awesome. Awesome. People can go to the website. You can see the information on the screen for more information. Don't forget, you can also register at that website for the event this Sunday for your teens, 13 through 19-year-olds. Drop them off at Killian Park. Know that they're going to be safe. They'll get some great information, and they'll have a good time too. And so can you. You can take a couple of hours and then take a break. All right. It's the One Love event. Dr. Vanessa Guyton with Hush No More. Thank you so much for joining us today. We know that we are going to talk to you again sometime next month on our Wellness Wednesday segment about domestic violence and abuse. Thank you, Vanessa.
You're welcome. Peace and blessings.
And same to you.
Coping with COVID with Tre Tailor. Updates on the pandemic and information to help you thrive and survive COVID-19. Brought to you by SCDHEC. Visit scdhec.gov for testing and vaccination sites. SCDHEC. Healthy people, healthy communities. In it together, SC and the South Carolina Diabetes Advisory Council presenting Wellness Wednesday every week on Coping with COVID. The City of Columbia Office of Business Opportunities, helping to meet the needs of small, minority, and women-owned businesses in the City of Columbia. Agape Counseling and Training Services. If you're having a challenge coping with COVID, visit Agape Counseling and Training Services at agapects.com. The Comet Bus System, offering free rides to get your COVID vaccine. Don't miss your shot. Visit catchthecomet.gov. Javis Financial Services, with over 20 years of experience. Computers Unique, Dutch Square Mall. Honest, professional, reliable computer sales and service. Palmetto Media Connections, connecting media and communities together. Coping with COVID from SCDHEC. In it together, SC, the South Carolina Diabetes Advisory Council, the City of Columbia Office of Business Opportunities, Agape Counseling and Training Services, the Comet Bus System, Javis Financial Services, Computers Unique, and Palmetto Media Connections.
Coping with COVID